What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk about the 48-hour film project I was a part of last weekend. Let's get into it. Okay, so last weekend was the 48-hour film project for Wisconsin, and this was something that I was really interested in doing. I didn't have a team, so I put in the Actors in Wisconsin Facebook group for anybody that was interested to possibly join a team for the 48-hour film project. The 48-hour film project is something that's done every weekend all over the world, and it gives people an opportunity to build films with these very unique constraints. It's 48 hours because Friday night is when there's the kickoff for the film project, and then you have until Sunday night to submit a completed video. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So there's your 48 hours. What's also unique about it is you don't know the genre, and you don't know the character that needs to appear in the film, and you don't know the line of dialogue that needs to also be in the film, as is verbatim, and you don't know the prop that also needs to be in the film. So what you do know is maybe who you're working with, so maybe the cast, some of the crew, you might know those people. You might be able to look at locations for the film that you'll shoot, but otherwise, there are a lot of rules and constraints, of course, with the 48-hour film project, such as you can't already have the script written, you can't already be shooting parts of your movie, and there are many other rules as well to make it a fair sort of competition or a fair challenge. Okay, so what was the experience like? I signed up as the team leader. That just meant I was the main point of contact. So let's talk about what happened in the 48-hour film project. So Friday night, I attended the kickoff, and that was near me, about 2 hours away, and it was a great experience. From there, we learned the four things: the genre. We had the option of comedy, climate, or a climate comedy. The character was a motivational speaker. The line was, "How was I supposed to know that?" And the prop was a box. So now that we had all that information, and they did it throughout the evening on that Friday, and I was just communicating that with the rest of the team, and they were brainstorming, putting things together. I drove back, and I was in the passenger seat, starting to work on the script. So suddenly I had the realization that, oh no, I need to have a script and a screenplay ready for tomorrow, which would be Saturday. We already had a location identified, so that was a positive for us. There were about 7 actors, and I wanted to be able to include them in some way where they'd be able to actually participate and maybe get some material for their reels. So I set about working on the script and the screenplay. I finished at around 10:30 that Friday night, and then I sent it to the team and I said, here's the script, here's who you are in this, how you've been cast, and look it over, and we'll meet Saturday morning at 7:30 for the crew, and then 8 o'clock for the talent to show up. So go to sleep, wake up. In the morning on Saturday, I did take a stab at putting together a shot list, but I eventually didn't do that because I realized the complexity of me putting together a shot list for what we were trying to accomplish. Our goal was to have all the shooting done Saturday and no shooting on Sunday, and just have editing happen on Sunday, because even though it's Sunday evening, that's actually not that much time to get everything together. So instead of using a shot list, what I did was, for each of the characters, they sort of had a persona. So if a character was a bigger character or should have like a bigger impression or bigger image, I just wanted them to take up most of the frame. If it's the average type of a character in the scene, I wanted it to be eye level. If it was the motivational speaker, who was the character we needed to include, I wanted that to be, they appeared like they were on stage, and anybody listening appeared like they were in the audience. So just angles that way. There was a character at the end, the sage or this wise person, but a little quirky. So I wanted the angles to be sharp angles and different close-ups of the sage as they were speaking to give that impression. So instead of going with a shot list, I went with persona-based shots, just to give some framing of what the director of photography should be thinking about as they're taking these shots. So we started filming, and how the script was written, it was written in a way to be shot sequentially, which also I think helped with how we were shooting it. We did go back and shoot some things that we wanted to clean up. We had 3 cameras. We ended up really using just 1 camera. We had box lights as well as LED lights to help illuminate things, and anything that we needed to cover, I had moving blankets. I just put those over anything that was like a bright light that might be distracting. We got through all of our shots by noon. We were done with our filming, which was great. From there, I loaded it directly into my computer. I would be taking on then the role of the editor. Since our location was at a bar, one of our cast members knew the owner, and they were able to just open it up for us early, which was very beneficial for us. We stuck around afterward, had some food. If you wanted to stay and have drinks, you were able to do that. So from there, I went home and I started the editing process. For editing, I was using DaVinci Resolve. The first step was to enter all the footage, audio that we had captured through lavs that people were wearing, and labeling things and getting all of that organized within DaVinci, so that once I had all the shots organized and labeled properly, it was just a matter of me putting them into the timeline. That's where I spent most of my time, is putting together the rough cut of the video, and I was able to send that out to the team. What that means for me is it has the beginning and the end and the film in the middle. Anything rough rough around coloring or sound would still be added. So I was able to send that out. People were happy to see it and see it come together. And that was late Saturday. What I thought was nice was I tried to make it a fun activity for myself because it was a lot of work and it was late night. So I was also watching some of my favorite movies on TV while I was also building this movie, which might sound distracting or counterintuitive. For example, I had Iron Man on TV. While I was watching that, I made some popcorn, and I was eating popcorn with chopsticks so I wouldn't get my fingers messy while I was working and watching one of my favorite movies. So I turned it into this experience was the idea. I actually got through that movie and then most of the way through the second Iron Man while I was continuing to work on the initial cuts or the initial edits. Go to sleep, wake up Sunday. Now it's about just finishing and polishing. That's where I'm adding in any sound effects that are needed. I'm starting to add in music. I'm making sure I've got the right timing. The film had to be between 4 and 7 minutes to make the best decisions as far as the shots that we had, the audio that we had, and really just compiling and putting all that together. The deadline on Sunday was 7:30, but what our leaders had said was don't wait until 7:30 to do the upload because you may run into hiccups with technology. So what they recommend is as soon as you have a good enough cut to load that up. So that for me was around 3:30 in the afternoon, and then I continued to fine tune, add more sound effects, add more music, play the entire film through and make sure that it worked as the deadline was looming, of course. When I had a final version ready, I sent that off to the team for them to review and to get their initial feedback. And from there, I loaded up the final version to the 48 Hour Film Project's website. It was quite a rush, starting with just learning about your film and then writing it, shooting it, editing it, and then finally uploading it. In addition to loading it up by that 7:30 time frame, I also had to get all the paperwork together, any location waivers, any talent waivers, any crew waivers, making sure that we followed the rules and that we did everything as we were supposed to as part of that 48 Hour Film Project. So that was my experience. I'd love to do it again, maybe with more people and more folks that can help out with the editing. Otherwise, it was a lot of fun. I'm really appreciative of the folks that stepped up to volunteer and be part of the 48 Hour Film Project. Our screening is May 18th, and it will actually be projected on a big screen along with the 40 other 48 Hour Film Project teams, which is really exciting. There are many awards that we could possibly win. I'm not necessarily expecting to win any awards, but maybe we'll win something, and that would be a lot of fun and something that we can all celebrate. In addition, I put together a trailer and a poster for this, which I may drop in the description just so everyone can see that and see a little bit more about what this end result looked like. It was a lot of fun, and there are of course lessons learned. I can't wait to do the next one, and I hope if you are interested that you take a chance and try to do the 48 Hour Film Project as well. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and let me know if I can be on your team next year. I mean, seriously.